tabletop gamers, my name is LeunameGames and welcome back to LeunameGames. Today I'm going to teach you how to play the 2 to 7 player asymmetrical game Not Alone by Ghislain Masson and published by GeekAttitudeGames and Stronghold Games. In Not Alone, an expedition has been sent to investigate a mysterious planet called Artemia. But once the ship got into the atmosphere, something pulled it in, disabled its systems, and sent it crashing into the surface. The survivors of the shipwreck are now trying to survive until help arrives. But there's a problem. They're not alone. There's a creature who lives on Artemia who is trying to hunt down the survivors and assimilate them into the planet's ecosystem. And so one player will be playing as the creature, trying to hunt down the survivors and bring them into the planet, while the others are playing as the survivors, trying to survive long enough for a rescue ship to arrive. Let's get to the table and let's see what's in the box. To start up the game, you're first going to need to decide amongst yourselves who is going to be playing as the creature. Whoever is playing as the creature is then going to get this progress board, which shows a track of both sides, and it's double-sided with different symbols on each side. And whoever places the creature is going to decide which side of the board they're going to be playing on. They're then going to take that side and place it face up in the playing area. There's also a rescue marker and an assimilation marker. You're going to place these on one of the spots on the board that matches the amount of players that are in the game. For example, I'm setting up for a 7-player game, so that means that the 2 markers will go on the very last locations on the board. Next, you're going to set up the planet of Artemia. There are 10 place cards in the game, and they're all numbered 1 through 10. And you're going to set this up by placing them in 2 rows in numerical order. So the first row is going to have the cards 1 through 5. The second row is going to have 6 through 10. Then there's this marker here. You're going to place that on the spot next to the beach card. I'll explain more about what that does later. Each player playing as the hunted is going to get 3 red tokens here to represent their will. They're also going to get a hand of 5 place cards representing the first 5 places on the planet. This is going to represent where the players are going to be allowed to go. You're going to place a certain amount of each of the remaining place cards numbered 6 through 10 up here above the board to form a reserve. Now, how many cards of each location are placed up here depends on how many players are playing the hunted. In this case, I'm setting up for a full 7-player game, so that means there will be 6 hunted, so that means there will be 3 of each location up here. Next, you're going to shuffle this deck of survival cards, and you're going to place it next to the hunted players, and you're going to give each one of these to each player. Next, you're going to have to shuffle this deck of hunt cards and give it to the player who is playing as the creature. And then you're going to have him draw 3 cards to make up their starting hand. The player playing as the creature is also going to get these 3 tokens that will help them hunt down the survivors. I'll explain what these more are later. Once you've done everything I've stated before, you are ready to begin. The game takes place over a series of turns, with each turn divided into 4 phases: the exploration, the hunting, the reckoning, and the end of turn phase. During the exploration phase, each player who is the hunted is going to simultaneously pick one of their cards from their hand and place it face down in front of them. This is going to represent where on the planet each player is going to go. Now, you can communicate back and forth on where you should go, whether it is true or it's a bluff, but you have to communicate out loud, and you cannot reveal your cards to each other. And you have to play a place card. But before you play a place card, you do have the option to resist, which means you give up 1 or 2 will tokens to allow you to draw 2 or 4 cards back to your hand from your discard pile of your choice. But if resisting forces you to give up your 3rd will token, then you have to give up. And speaking of giving up, that's another thing you can do before you play a place card. You can only choose to give up if you don't have any of your will tokens left. If you give up, you regain all of your will tokens and all of your hand, but that means that the creature is going to be able to assimilate you faster, because every time you give up, the assimilate tracker moves forward 1. Once each hunted player chooses the card they're going to play, you enter the hunting phase. During the hunting phase, the player playing the creature is going to have a chance to place their tokens out on the planet to try and catch the players. There's 3 different tokens that the hunter is going to have. There's this token, which represents the creature itself, and when you have this, all you do is just choose a location and place it on there. That means that the creature is at that location. By the way, the creature token is the only token that has to be played every hunting phase. The remaining 2 tokens I'm going to talk about are completely optional. This token here is the target token. This token can only be played when the player who is playing as the creature plays a card that has the target symbol on it. When you play a card that has the target symbol on it, you will choose either 1 location or 2 locations and place the target symbol on it. Now, how would you place it on 2 locations? Well, you would place it in between 2 locations that are next to each other, either vertically or horizontally. So for instance, I am placing this target marker in between the beach and the river. What this means is that the effect of the target card is going to affect both locations on the planet. Now, not every card that has the target on it is going to affect 2 places. Some of these are only going to affect 1 place. If that's the case, you simply take the target token and place it on 1 of the locations. The last token that can be played is the Artemia token, which kind of represents the planet itself. Now, the way this works is that this token can be played in one of 2 ways. Either you play a card that has the Artemia token on it, or the rescue counter has reached one of the spots on the board that has the Artemia symbol on it. And it works the same way as the creature and the target. You basically just choose a location and you place the Artemia token on it. Once the player playing as the creature has placed all the tokens that they want to or are able to, the hunting phase ends and you go to the reckoning phase. During the reckoning phase, each of the hunted players are going to simultaneously reveal their cards. Starting with the player to the left of the creature, each player is going to go around and resolve their locations. So let's say, for example, this player was to the left of the creature. If the player played a location card that had nothing on it, then you can either use the ability of the place that you've played, or you can take back one of your cards from your discard pile to your hand. An important thing to note, there are times where a hunting card will render a place completely ineffective. If you've played a location card on a place that is ineffective, then you can do nothing with that location. You can't use the ability, and you can't take back a card. If the player played at a location that has the target symbol on it, then what will happen is that you will suffer the effect of the targeting card, and then you will interact with the place as normal. Any player who played a place card that has the Artemia token on it, you suffer the effects of the Artemia card. You have to discard a place card from your hand, and you cannot use that place. It has been rendered ineffective. Each hunted player who played a place card that has the creature itself on it, they have been caught by the creature. They will lose one of their will tokens. They cannot interact with the place at all, and the simulation marker will move forward 1. Keep in mind that no matter how many players did get caught by the creature, the simulation marker will still only move forward 1. If during the reckoning phase at least 1 player manages to lose their 3rd will token, you will also move the simulation marker forward 1. Those hunted players will then take back all their will tokens and all the cards in their discard pile as if they were giving up. Before I move on to the 4th phase, I do want to explain the cards real quick. Each side has a deck of cards that will help them succeed for their side. Each of these sides has a special ability written in the middle right here, and on the bottom each card has a phase that it can be played, and it can be played at any time as long as it's during that phase. Once all the place cards have been resolved, each of the hunted players are going to discard those cards that have been played for this turn. The player playing the hunter will get rid of all of their tokens and bring them back to them. The rescue marker will move forward 1, and then you go back to the first phase, the exploration. The game ends immediately when one of two things happen. Either the rescue marker has made it all the way over to this star, or the assimilation marker has made it all the way over to the star. First side to reach the star is the winner. And that's everything you need to know in order to play Not Alone. As always, if you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will get back to them. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. That means a lot to me. If you like what I do and you want to support me in the future, please feel free to hit subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye until next time. See you later!